Hello everyone, Brinu here. Today I would like to share with you guys my experience going to the World Masters Championship in Las Vegas. I would like to share with you guys the things that I went through, things that I've done, what was my motivation, and then how much this title means to me. Okay, so I'm just gonna talk a little bit about some important topics, people answering questions that people ask me on Instagram. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. I'm just gonna share with you guys this amazing achievement and how much it means to me. Okay, let's go. So okay, before we start, here we go. Very proud. Very proud. This means a lot. So yeah, the dream started like 26 years ago. 26 years ago, where I used to watch the Olympic Games, and see the athletes receiving medals in the podium, So I was like, wow, that's such a honorable moment, So I really felt like, oh, I would love to be part of that, to be the one on the top of the podium, receiving the medal, and proudly standing in the first place. So that's how it started, going back to football and kung fu, capoeira, you name it, And then Aikido, eventually I found Jiu-Jitsu, which I thought was judo at that time. So when I saw the gym full of medals around, trophies, and it's like, wow. The other sports that I practiced, apart from football, there was no competition. So there was no other way I could get a medal, right? So then, now I'm in Jiu-Jitsu, and I see that everybody has a medal, the trophies, the pictures and stuff. And it's like, okay, so maybe this is what's gonna help me to achieve my dream, So within like 2 weeks into Jiu-Jitsu, I signed up for my first competition. So basically I had 6 classes. So my professor just allowed me to, the old school guys, they didn't really care very much at that time. So I sparred on my first day, even though I had no idea what I was doing. But I had a good foundation from Aikido, which is like also there was like some sort of a grappling involved. So the basic I knew, like hip escape, ankle stand up, bridge, forward roll, backward roll. So I knew all that stuff when I went. So maybe that's why the professor allowed me to spar on the first day. And of course I got smashed, but that was not my main motivation. Because a lot of guys, they get motivated because I got smashed my first day and I want to learn this. So that was not my case. My case was like, motivation was the medals I saw on the wall and on the trophies as well. So I was just like, I think that's what I want. So then, yeah, eventually I went to my first competition. I got second place. There was only 2 guys, so it's just me and another guy. And I got taken down. It was like a ponce and I get straight into armbar. So I lost very quick. And then I didn't know, because that time you don't see brackets. There's no such thing where, how many people I'm gonna fight. Everything was like written down on the paper. The bracket was made like on the same day, on spot. So, and then eventually I heard someone calling my name to go to the podium, and I'm just like, oh, podium. So then I stand on the podium in the second place, and I got a medal in my first ever competition, and I'm just like, wow, this is what I dream about, this is where I wanted to be, on the podium and receiving a medal. Even though it was second place, I was fine, I didn't care. I just felt that like, okay, that was my dream. And I realized like so quick, And then of course after I was just like, okay, so now I need to see how it feels to be in the first place. And then I kept training, and then compete a lot. Of course, I achieved the first place eventually. I think it was my third or fourth competition I won. I think it was the third competition I won a gold medal. But there was no podium that day. When I won my first gold medal, there was no podium. So we stand on the floor. And again, there was only 2 guys. But still, I had a gold medal at home. I brought a gold medal home. So it was pretty fun. And I really enjoyed it. So then eventually, we only had contact to very small tournaments, right? Tournaments inside the gym, like internal tournaments, interclubs and stuff. It was very common at that time when I started. The professors invite their friends, like the other professors, to just do tournaments inside their own gyms, So it's like maybe 3-4 gyms They get together, they share the cost, they buy the medals, and then we organize a competition in the biggest gym in town, in the area. And then I used to compete a lot like that. Until when it was like 2000, we got the VHS tape of the World Championship, the IBJJF World Championship, which back then was a CBJJ World Championship, which then became IBJJF, right? So, and then we just like, wow, that's where we saw the real athletes, you know, like black belts competing at peak level. And then of course, I just like, wow, that maybe that's the goal, you know, and to be a world champion one day. So then it was just like a very far away dream to become a world champion, you know, like, but we were just at that time blue belts, and we were watching black belts. So eventually we knew one day if you keep training, one day we're going to be black belts, and then maybe you could go to that level of tournaments and compete and maybe become a world champion, you know, like. So, and that's what we did. Just kept training, and that's what I've been doing, you know, like. So when it comes to a purple belt, in 2004, my professors and my teammates, they say, oh, I think you should go for the world championship. And I'm just like, nah, I don't think I go. I work in supermarket. No, what can I do? So I train like once a day in the morning, twice a week, 2-3 times a week. And in a good week, I train 3 times a week. But I remember that I used to be like the first to arrive, the last to leave. Me and maybe another 2 guys, you know, like we train and we would spar like until the cleaner tell us to go home. That's what we used to do, you know. And so I joined. Back then we had to qualify for World Championship, right? I'm talking about the adults for World Championship. We had to qualify. And I was a purple belt at that time. So I went to the first event, which was Brazilian National. And then I lost in the quarterfinal. So I had to be in 3rd place at least to qualify for World Championship. And then I went to the state tournament, which also you had to get at least 3rd place. I lost in the quarterfinal again. So that was the last chance for me to qualify. There was another tournament, which is the Pan American, but it was like, no way. It was in the US. Back then, it's still in the US. So there was no way I could go to the US at that time. So I tried the Brazilian Nationals, I lost. I tried the Rio State tournament, and I lost. So that was the last chance to qualify, which was the trials, which is 1 week before the World Championship. But then, like, you know, if you qualify the Brazilian Nationals, there are 4 spots, like 1st, 2nd, and 2 3rd places. Same thing for the Rio State tournament. And then if I say, man, I lost a tournament that gives like 4 spots. I lost 2 tournaments they have like 4 spots for the World Championship. The trial is only 2. So there's no way I'm going to go trials. I don't want to go trials. I told my professor that I didn't want to go trials. Then they put my name in the trials. They forced me to go with the trials. So I remember I won 3 matches, and now I'm in the final of the trials. So, and I'm ready to fight in the final, you know, like, so, but then the staff came to me, it's like, Bruno, you're good to go. You can go home. See you next week. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, you qualify for the World Championship. And I was just like, but I'm in the final. Yeah, both of you guys are qualified for the World Championship. So now you fight next week. And that was like, oh my God, now I'm on the World Championship. You know, like, what am I going to do? Of course, I got to go to work in the supermarket again and continue working there and see if how I can train. I have 1 week or maybe less. I have 4 days to, I've been training, you know, I've been in shape as much as I could, you know, I trained as much as I could. But yeah, now I'm on the World Championship. And yeah, on my competition was, I fought on Friday, 1 p.m. in the World Championship 2004. And again, it was amazing. My first match, I won by a loop choke, which is a choke that I've been doing since I was 16, 17 years old, you know, and I won in 25 seconds. I put the guy to sleep. It was very good. Second match, I won by referee decision. It was a tough match. I still remember my opponent, he left the mat like puking, and I was exhausted as well. But I won by referee decision. And then the third match, which was the quarterfinal. So if I win that match, I would be in the podium of a world championship. I ended up losing again. So, and I couldn't even imagine that that quarterfinal would haunt me like until like, I don't know, forever. I would be getting these fights into quarterfinals and then like not being able to perform well or losing quarterfinal in big events. So that's how I first joined the World Championship, the first time. So that was in 2004, purple belt. Then I competed again in 2005, 2006, which was the last two IBJJF World Championship in Brazil. At that time, I was already a brown belt. Didn't have a good performance and lost both in the first match. At that time, also, you didn't have to qualify anymore, just sign up and go. But yeah, I couldn't perform the same. So I remember in 2000 and I think it was 2003, I wanted to quit. I was not doing well in the competition, and then I tried one, not IBJJF World Championship, was a CBJJO, which is a federation that was created to compete with IBJJF. So they have their own World Championship, which was called World Cup. They had their own Brazilian Nationals, which was called Brazilian Cup. So it's almost like that was like a big, how to say, breakup at that time, big division in the Jiu-Jitsu community, because CBJJO came out paying the athletes, which IBJJF never paid at that time. So it was a big thing for a lot of us. So even though the IBJJF event was more prestigious, the CBJJO is paying money. So a lot of big names, such as like Kron Gracie, Jacare Souza, Fernando Margarida, Saulo Ribeiro, they were all going to compete at this event in order to get paid, which was like a big thing that happened at that time. And then I ended up like losing those tournaments too, that was before my IBJJF tournament. So, and then I remember I wanted to quit because I was not winning tournaments, I was losing a lot. Then I felt that it was not for me. I think we all get to that point where we feel like, this is not for me, I better stop. And I remember bringing my belt and my gi, because I come from a culture where we used to pass forward like the belts. When I get a new belt, I get my old belt, I give it to another person. Let's say if I'm purple and I get brown, I give my purple to the blue belt that just got his purple. So we just passed because we didn't have money to buy. And then since I was quitting, I was like, okay, maybe my belt go to someone that needs, and then my gi go to someone else that needs as well. So my professor just told me like, hey bro, what are you doing? I said, nah, it's not for me. I'm tired. I work in a supermarket. I work a lot. I can work sometimes like up to 10 hours a day. It's hard to train, and I'm not doing well in competition, so I think I'm not going to be a big champion. And he said, maybe you're never going to be a world champion, but nobody knows that. So who knows? Maybe it's not your destiny to be a world champion, but that doesn't mean that you cannot help someone to become a world champion, So take your gi home, take your belt home, take a 1 week break, then you see what you want to do, okay? If after 1 week you feel like you want to quit, that's fine. But now go home and rest. Man, I think it took me less than 24 hours to just like, man, okay, let's keep doing it, So I didn't take 1 week break. So in less than 24 hours already decided to keep going. And then you see in 2004, I was able to compete in my first IBJJF tournament. 2005, 2006. And then since IBJJF moved to the US, we were never able to compete again. In 2018, I went to Abu Dhabi for the World Pro. Then I also, that also like sparked the dream of becoming a world champion again. So that now I'm competing in another world championship. At this time I'm living in Malaysia where I live right now. So I was away from world championship tournaments for so long because couldn't afford to travel very much. The tournaments are in the US, so they need visa and all that stuff. So, but then Abu Dhabi, like, there's no visa required for Brazilians. So I decided to, okay, let's go Abu Dhabi and give it another try. And maybe I can become a world champion in the World Pro. So yeah, that didn't happen. My first opponent was 5 times world champion at that time. I ended up losing by 2-0. But I was just like, instead of feeling bad, I felt like, man, that was just 2-0, like such a big name who I fought just now, and then I lost by just 2-0. So maybe, I think I started to believe a little bit that one day I would become a world champion, But that was like a very far away dream, but I started to believe a little bit. So then in 2019, I was doing so well. I went to Japan and I won. I went to Manila, Philippines. I won the IBJJF Manila Open, gi and no gi, and I competed in the adult division, being the Masters 2, and then I won the adult division in gi and in no gi. And then I went to Japan and I competed the Tokyo Open IBJJF, and I won. And the next day, which was like one event was Saturday, the other event was Sunday, was the Master International Asia, and I won as well, the Master International Asia IBJJF. So now I'm so excited because I'm doing really, really well. So one of my students came to me, he's like, why don't you go for the World Masters? I was like, nah, it's Las Vegas, I don't have visa. And then I was just like, they said, no, just go, I pay for your visa, like you just apply. I was like, no, but that's too much money, because if you apply for the visa and they don't accept, they don't give you money back, I said, nah, never mind, just go for it. Man, I got my visa, no questions asked. They just asked my passport, and then I say I'm going to compete in the World Masters. The only thing the immigration officer, they asked was like, the only thing he asked was, are you a black belt? I said, yes, I am. So okay, approved. And I couldn't believe, because I prepared like so many documents, blogs and interviews that I got, the pictures of me competing, pictures of me teaching, but they never asked for none of that. So I was really blessed with that opportunity, with the way things went through for me. And then I went to Las Vegas in 2019, and guess what? I lost in the quarterfinal. Then COVID happened, a lot of stuff happened. I changed my job, I moved to another gym. I went back to Brazil and I competed a lot in Brazil. And I won the World Championship no gi CBJJO in Brazil, but because it's not like a main federation, so I didn't speak much about it. I didn't have that feeling of, I am a world champion, But it's very very important tournament for me. Like, it's for my own achievement, right? But it's not something that I'm gonna keep bragging about, because people are gonna say CBJJO, and so I just decided to stay quiet about it. Then fast forward to 2023. In 2023, I go again to the World Championship Masters in Las Vegas again, and that was one of my best performances ever in tournaments. I won 3 matches, like no scored on me. I got my second match was the guy who was in second place in 2022, and the number 2 in the ranking. I won by 15-0. My first match was 11-0. My third match was 3-0. I had very good performance, and then guess what? Quarterfinal again. I lost in the quarterfinal again by 2-0 to a former world champion, which is in 2019. I also lost to a former world champion by 2-0 in the quarterfinal. Then 2004 comes, 2024 comes, and then I go again to Las Vegas. So I go first to Asian Championship, and I got second place in the World Championship. I had a not so good preparation, not so good diet, but I don't blame that. It was my performance was not good, but my opponent was a big tough guy as well, which I already fought before. I won before, but this time I lost. Then I go to the World Masters Championship, and again I lost in the quarterfinal to a former world champion by what? Referee decision this time. So I got pretty excited, but at the same time I felt like, I think I'm done with that, So it's a third time coming to Las Vegas, and then losing the quarterfinal again. It's pretty annoying, right? So I decided to not go into Las Vegas anymore, and then put a pause in that dream of becoming a world champion. If I don't even know if I actually thought that I would become a world champion one day, you know, like maybe just like, oh, let's go for the world championship, but not believing that I could be a world champion. You know, I think I didn't have that thought. So, but remember in 2003 when my professor told me that maybe I would never be a world champion because we never know. Maybe my destiny was never become a world champion, but help someone to become a world champion. So I was very proud because I actually did that. You know, as three of my students, they won a world title before, which I was very proud. So maybe that's the reason why I put on this sport. Maybe that's my destiny, to just help someone to become a world champion and get like a feeling that like, oh, I'm part of that. You know, I helped a little bit in their achievement. But the thing is, I had a problem. A good friend who believed in me more than I believed in myself. You know. So, and after I moved to Asia, I never compete in Brazilian National again. So Brazilian National is considered the toughest Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament in the world. And then we see the numbers, right, rising, and the number of participants breaking records like every year. So we decided to go to Brazilian Nationals 2025. And in 2025, I was like, Brazilian Nationals, you know, I was training in Malaysia, so I don't train with black belts, and all the idea. But I already passed this thinking that I need to train with black belts in order to become a champion, you know. I don't need to. I won a lot of tournaments where I just train with my white, blues, purples, and brown belt students. So I already passed this this idea that I have to train with black belts in order to become a champion. So I trained as hard as I could, as much as I could. I hired a nutritionist to help me. So then I just started following a proper diet. I had a strength and conditioning coach. So, and Jiu-Jitsu is just me. Plus a sports psychologist, you know, that helped me out. They gave me a program, things to follow. So I started doing all the things that I never done before, things that I used to think that wouldn't work in Jiu-Jitsu, you know, especially coming from the old school mentality of everything just porrada, you know. So I just had to humble myself and to give opportunity to the new things that a lot of world champions that were already doing it. So now I need to experience for myself. Then I go to Brazilian Nationals. I was telling my students, guys, my goal is to get to the bronze medal because I always lose in quarterfinal. You know, I don't think I can get anything else, but I'll try my best to get bronze medal. You know, so then I go to Brazil, and then I won 4 matches. I'm in the podium. I won, 3 matches, and I'm in the podium, and I guarantee the bronze medal. And I'm just like, wow, it's okay, bronze medal. I achieved my dream. You know, I remember that I opened my gi, I screamed, just like, wow, I finally got a medal in Brazilian Nationals. You know, then I'm fulfilled. You know, I'm excited. I achieved my dream, and then I go to the semifinal, and then I won the semifinal. Now I'm in the final of Brazilian Nationals, you know, and I'm just like, man, I came for bronze. Now I'm in the semifinal. What am I gonna do? You know, and then I remember the after semifinal, I get off the mat and I just fell down on the ground and I just cried and I couldn't stop. I cried uncontrollably. I cried. You know, it's just like there was a movie in front of my eyes. I was just like watching the beginning, you know, like the humble beginning where I didn't even have a gi, where I used to wear like a different gi every day I come to class, because the gym has like a few gis that you just borrow to people that come to class that didn't have a gi, and I remember there was no clean gis, you know, like it was just the gi someone wore yesterday, so today is yours and stuff, and nobody washed that gi, just like air dried. And now I'm in the final of a world championship as a black belt, of a Brazilian national championship as a black belt, you know. And then my opponent, 6 times world champion, let's go for it. Then I ended up losing by 2-0 again. But that was the time I was in the final of Brazilian Nationals tournament, you know. So, and then I'm so proud and excited, and it's like, and everybody's like, man, you can win this, you can become a world champion now. You see where you are, you know. And usually you see people that win the Brazilian nationals, eventually they ended up like winning Brazilian world championship, you know, because the level is that high. And now I lost in the final, so, and I started like, oh, maybe I can do better in the World Masters. But then again, I didn't want to go and have that feeling of losing quarterfinal again, you know, like blah blah blah. So then I go to Japan and I competed the Asian Championship and I won the Asian Championship. So I was just like, man, I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. I fought very good. I fought really well. I used a bunch of new techniques that I've been working on. And I mean, I won like 4 matches and like pretty good. And then a friend started like, bro, let's go for the World Masters. Let's go. I have a good feeling about it. Let's go for World Masters. Let's go for World Masters. And it's like, no, I don't know. I always feel like really bad. I get depressed when I come back to Malaysia after the World Masters. You know, like it's happened in 2019, 2023, 2024, and I don't want to have that feeling again. But my friends are like, no, bro, I think you can do it. I think you can do it. So I just, yeah, okay, let's try. And there was a lot of people texting me, and you know, I say, bro, you should go for World Masters, you know, and some people are saying like, I have a good feeling about it. I think this time you can go all the way, you know, like. So I changed a little bit the strategy when it comes to training Jiu-Jitsu, preparing for competition. I was a bit less intense when it comes to Jiu-Jitsu itself. I was focused more on my nutrition, on my strength and conditioning, and my mental preparation. I did a lot of visualization, social media detox. I read more, you know, and then I focused on my preparation. But I knew that I had to work harder than I ever worked before. So there was times that I was waking up like at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and just going to this gym, like which is a 24-hour gym, and to lift weights, and then maybe do some extra, and then I teach all my classes, go with my normal routine, but during the day, and train Jiu-Jitsu, roll as smart as I could, you know, like thinking. Every round was like me thinking, what if this happened in a match? What if this happened in the World Championship? Strategically, I was really training, like counting time, because especially masters, you know, like masters, they are a bit more cautious, you know, like they don't go as too fast, you know, like, and then my game is like score as many points as you can. It's more like a lot of movements, you know, like. So, and then I realized that the masters, they slow down a little bit, and then sometimes that was my mistake in the past, because I was always like playing this open game and not controlling very much, not counting the time. So I decided to be smarter. So I slowed down a little bit, and some people even come to me and say, oh, you were less intense this time. So, and then I felt like, oh, maybe I'm not training hard enough. But then I was like, nah, let's keep it this way. So thank God, no injuries, you know, and I was feeling like building muscle was really good, you know. I was feeling my muscles that I never thought I'd see growing, you know, like start popping up. It's like, oh, that's really good. So then we go to Las Vegas, we go to the World Championship, and I was able to win my first match in like about 30 seconds in the loop choke. And the second match was another loop choke. Third match, I got a loop choke, but eventually we were out of bounds, so I got 2 points out of it. And I ended up like scoring 14-0 on that one. Semi-final. So now we are in this situation where I won the quarterfinal in the World Masters Championship, and I got a bronze medal. So what do we do? In my mind, bro, you got a bronze medal in the World Championship. You never had a medal before in the World Championship, and now look at you. So I was happy. I remember that I celebrated, but I didn't feel that I was, yes, I did it, you know. There was something, it's almost like, yeah, it's almost like I knew, you know, I knew it was okay, man, it's not a big thing, big deal. Even though I went with the same thought, I want to be bronze medalist, I want to get to the bronze medal, I want to get to the podium. Bronze medal is my target. So now that I got it, I'm happy, but I knew that I was not like, I was in Brazil, you know, like in Brazil, I was really excited, really happy that I got bronze medal. And then my friends, they were afraid of me, like, oh, he's too excited, maybe he's gonna relax now, and then he still got 2 more fights to go, so maybe he won't perform well. And then they came to me like, you got 2 more, you got 2 more to go. I was like, no, yeah, I'm okay, I'm okay. I'm gonna do another video to talk about my mindset, okay, how it was, how I felt, because there's like something that I really need to talk about you guys, and then it has to be a separate video. So I go to the semifinal, and then I had a tough match. The guy was pretty tough, but then guess what? I won by another loop choke. It was pretty cool, you know. I got 3 loop chokes and 1 almost submission. So now I'm in the final of a world championship. Now I'm just like freaking out. It's like, what the heck? I'm in the final of the World Masters Championship IBJJF, and then yeah, that was something that I couldn't believe, and I'm just trying to figure it out. I was just like, nah, it's not. And then all the how to say, the dark passengers started to come and talk to me like, hey, this is not for you, this is not your place, you don't belong here, you know, you don't belong here. And then I was able to ignore that talk. And then all I did was just like, let's go. They bring us to a bigger mat, and there was like camera, there was microphone, all these things going on. It was very close to the main IBJJF table where the official stays. And I remember there was a big crowd. My opponent had a big crowd to support him, and I had my friends supporting me, which was nice, but smaller in numbers. But I think we were too focused on that, you know. And then it was a tough match. I sweep, he sweep me. I sweep him, he sweep me, and then I sweep again. And that was like 15 seconds left when I got my last point, and I just had to stabilize this time. And then, yeah, and then after that, we started to count down 7, 6, 5. And then when the referee say paro, I am the new featherweight Master 3 IBJJF World Masters champion, you know. And that one, I didn't know how to celebrate. I didn't know how to what to say, what to do. I don't know. I was just lost. And now I am a world champion. Bruninho, you know, I am the new world champion, and under the IBJJF banner. That was a lot. That was insane. So that was about it. You know, I know this video is already like too long for a lot of people to watch, but that was a little bit of the things that I went through. I'll make more videos to break down my mindset, my preparation, you know, my training mentality, you know, things that I did to prepare. But I would love to hear from you guys, you know, in the comment section. I would love you guys to if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And ask me some questions. I can talk about more stuff here. If you guys would like to hear from me, things that you want to learn from me too, you know, like, can please leave in the comments. I will read everything. And I would just like to thank all of you guys for the support. You know, without you guys, without your support, I wouldn't be able to be here and be talking about this great achievement, which is the biggest achievement of my career. Thank you so much for making this dream come true for me, for listening to what I have to say. All I have to say is thank you. Thank you so much, because this world title didn't start it yesterday, you know. This is like, it's been, as I told you guys, 25 years in the making, and I finally did. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate all your support, all your love, your kindness. All the best for all of you guys. Thank you so much. Osss.